2050 is the year my younger son will become exactly the same age as I am now. And it is estimated that by then, there will be more plastic than fish in the ocean. Can you just imagine what it would be like to Okinawa? We rely heavily on our environment that's known as very pretty and beautiful. This is a picture of the beach cleaning that OIST students and the intern regularly does, just 10 minutes walk away from here. And this is a picture from last year, but this year is still the same. We do beach cleaning once, next month, same amount. A couple months later, the same if not more. Those garbage keeps coming back, never ends. So we already see the glimpse of what we may look like in 2050. The floating garbage in the ocean, those pictures was taken just offshore of Cape Zampa, a little south of here. And the beach here is the same beach that I just talked about. But those pictures on your right, they were taken in Iriomote Island, known as Galapagos of Japan for its unique ecosystem that has a pristine environment that's so beautiful and also registered as a national park. These are the islands. This is the island that I often study for my project. I study mangrove ecosystem. And these are the sceneries that I often see. Not the famous pristine ocean and coral reef and the jungle that most tourists know, but entangled nets on the roots, washed up plastic on the beach, and a lot of them are even washed up deeper inside the forest that people can never get to anymore. There's no tourist goes here, there's no residential area around, so completely out of sight and out of people's mind, therefore garbage keeps accumulating. So the alarming fact of this ocean waste, as Mel just explained, is the majority of them are made of plastics. And they don't biodegrade for at least 10 years and for as long as 600 years. Our nature cannot handle them. What happens to them in the meantime is that they become brittle, exposed to UV light in the environment, and gets weathered into smaller and smaller pieces. Some are microscopic that we cannot see in our naked eyes that we call microplastics. And it is estimated that there are 51 trillion pieces out there already in the environment. And if you have done beach cleaning, you know just picking out those pieces off of the sand is just impossible. They stick to the sand and they float away with the waves and goes along with the current away from our coast, but ends up somewhere and they will never go away. This picture on the left is a bird called Albatross. It's a legendary bird in the Pacific. They're very beautiful, and they fly miles and miles away from their breeding ground in the middle of the Pacific, called Midway Island. They fly away for weeks without drinking or eating themselves, just to come back with their stomach filled with their food to feed their chicks. But what they come back with is, as you can see, these plastic pieces, because they look like their food, and they also smell like their food. And 170 marine species are affected by plastic waste just like albatross. And marine animals around Okinawa is no exception, including sea turtles, whales, dolphins, fish, seabirds, and if not already, some study has said that soon the coral will be affected by this plastic waste. What would that mean to us living in Okinawa? Our life strives on healthy coral reef. Another statistics or studies have shown that not only the animals, our food security is also threatened. Some studies have shown that there are microplastic fibers found in the tap water in many nations, including US and some countries in Europe. And also, those little tiny particles have been found in table salt, PET bottle water, seafood, and even in the air. When I first learned about plastic waste, as a conservation ecologist, of course I worry about animals. But I thought that never thought that this threat was so close to our health and our babies. And the extension of the plastic waste, ingesting or breathing it in to our human health is still unknown. But this is the result of a single-use plastic culture that's established since the 1950s. It is very convenient material, but it is time for us to rethink about this use of this convenient material. It's 2018 now. So in Japan, I'd like to show you some of the statistics of why we should care, even though I believe majority of people here, including me, don't litter. We discard our garbage in a designated area, believing that our system can handle all the garbage that we responsibly put in the garbage can. But truth is, 88% of PET bottles gets collected, but less than half of that gets actually domestically recycled. It's the statistics in Japan. And the rest gets exported, but we are not really responsible of that part. And it's going out of our mind. But what's worse is that 91% of all the plastic material that you can find in the market are not recyclable. If they are, some of them are too dirty to be recycled. So they get transported to incinerators or landfill sites. And just for your information, on average in Japan, one person produces as much as 53 kilograms of those non-recyclable plastic material per year. That's almost as big as me. And while those garbage gets transported, some of them always fallen off of the garbage truck, become litter, and most likely ends up in the ocean. But even after those plastic garbage gets to the designated place, like landfill sites, this is a picture of Ishigaki Island. Those waste is out in the open. So you can easily imagine just a gust of wind can pick them up and fly them away, and they'll become, again, litter. So that's why we see a lot of garbage becoming visible in our ocean after typhoon events. So, the OIST Eco Club that I joined last year, we would like to spread this awareness on campus and start making positive changes within the campus. And our solution for that is just to simply reduce providing the plastic material, and also use of the plastic material. And I would like to share with you some of the examples of what we've done so far on campus. Hopefully that it will be useful for you to start the changes in your community, because I would like to emphasize that each of us is epicenter of a ripple effect that we can cause and then affect our community. And so if we succeed on our campus, we're hoping that we can start the ripple effect in our community in Onna, and maybe that can be spread even further to entire island. So the first what we did last year is to just see how much we create, how much waste we create on campus. And we found out that on average per week, we discard 1,000 plastic bags just from lunchtime, so from noon to 1 p.m. And this is the garbage cans that look like this at 1. And each bag usually contains multiple plasticware like bento box, plastic spoon, plastic soup cup, but they never leave the campus. Those people who buy those stay on campus and eat in them maybe within the 10 meters. So we wanted to provide more options to the consumers so that we can improve the situation. So with the combined effort of our school cafe and the school division, and we even wrote proposal and submitted to president. And now we have a reusable bento box that's available to us. And also the cafe provides us discount just to reward us for bringing our own cup to get our beverage. And as a club, we donate recycled paper bag to the customers to just offer more options. And having options, we believe that is a good thing, because that will make us rethink about our choices every day. And that is a great place to start. And the next thing that we believe is good is to share our knowledge. Our knowledge comes from all over the place. Our club has American, Japanese, so many from Europe, so many different people combine our knowledge and information, and then we come up with an idea. So why not do that to our community? So we use SNS to do that, and sometimes include some fun challenges. So here we did Sip Don't Suck challenge. This is a photo challenge for the best picture of the sipping drinks. to promote No Plastic Straw campaign on the World Ocean Day. And it's stuff like that will create the funness out of this somewhat depressing the topic, and then spread the awareness. And then soon after, we started to see our non-plastic community grow. So to keep this momentum going, we created a place for people to come and gain knowledge while they're sharing positive experiences. And EcoDocs, a monthly documentary movie screening event, is one of them. And we hosted at the local bar so we can have drinks and eat some good food. And then we also, last couple times, hosted on campus. And then we introduced the concept of BYO, bring your own, to the events. So the customers who come can bring their own plastic foodware or cups, and the vendors will accept them. And if they don't bring their own, the vendors will provide food only in the biodegradable containers. And as a result, we produced zero plastic waste from our events, all the 7 events. And that was a huge accomplishment to us, and it was a proven concept for the future events in Okinawa. So what else can we do on a daily basis? Each of us, like I said, can be the epicenter. So I'll show you some of the examples that I started doing and sharing. For one, those are the dish soap and the shampoos that come in a refillable plastic bottle or bag. They're still plastic, and they cannot be recycled. But local soap shop makes this bar of soap that will minimize a lot of plastic amount that plastic waste we produce. And now also the bamboo toothbrushes and a plastic wrap. We have now beeswax wrap. If you never heard it, it was a great thing. You can wash it and reuse it, and so that you can minimize the waste as well. And those things are locally available and are just as useful as the conventional plastic materials. And another idea that I can offer, and I tried, was that I brought my rice bin to a supermarket once, and I asked the lady to refill my rice bins. And the lady looked at me and didn't say anything to me at first, but when I explained the reason why I'm doing it, and she was willing to refill my rice bin and put this price sticker on it. And also there are local supermarkets that you can support that provide vegetable not wrapped in plastics. These are the markets that I'm used to living in America. None of the vegetables are wrapped in plastic, but they're beautiful and are fresh and delicious. Those vegetables and the fruits don't need to be wrapped in plastics, so we can support those local supermarkets as our vote. So lastly, you may not believe, or you may not think or wonder how just bad this situation is as far as the plastic waste. But I'm afraid that if you wait to know more about to make changes, it might be too late. Before our sons and daughters see a dirty, dirty ocean that we never experienced. And if you want to leave the ocean or environment better, or if not the same for our kids, I think it is time to rethink the way now and choose what you can start to make changes in and try it. And if you can, if it works, please share with your friends and families. Thank you.